Good evening, everybody. This is Slightgeist here with another episode of Slight at Night. Back again with my friends Semmelweiser, Seth, Katozu KC, and returning for his second show, Fightman, James. James, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really happy that I took the time to fly in all the way from sunny California to be here on your program. Really, it's a nice studio you have.
Yeah, I mean, my room is literally on the stream, but my make-believe studio in California is, I like it a lot.
No,
I
flew in from man.
Wait.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I like that even though we're all there, the camera's just centered on Colin in the background.
Yeah, it's kind of not nice. I will say I don't appreciate that part, as someone trying to get just as famous as all the rest of you. Well, the fact that we're all in the same room, but Colin's only letting the camera be on him is a little selfish.
Look, guys, we got to get more viewers. That's it. That's what it comes down to. So,
are you saying that you feel as though you represent the most handsome among us? You're the best face to put forward. Is that what I'm getting?
Your true words are hurtful.
Casey and I just knocked each other off the edge of the tower. That's awesome. Yeah, look, James, we all have to make sacrifices sometimes, and I understand that part of that is just allowing my face to be the anyway. So you guys, this is our first episode of the new week. I think that we have made a lot of progress. I want to give a big thank you to KC for designing these dope ass stream overlay things. I think they look great, so thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And I found some DMCA free lo-fi music on Spotify.
Spotify out in the wilderness.
So yeah, I think we're doing good. Anyway, tonight I want to announce the topic as is tradition until we leave the tower. But tonight we're gonna do some PvP. So I think everybody's got their Crucible bounties. I'm gonna go ahead and just switch over to my Crucible set here real quick.
Mr. Fancy with a Crucible.
All right, you guys ready to go? Thank you. I really like your tutu dance. It's so good.
Yeah.
I picked
it's
up
so hot. Look at that. It's fire, fam.
I picked up the Taylor Swift "Shake It Off" dance.
Ooh, that seems fitting. All right.
All right. Well, let's not stretch this out forever, shall we? Everybody ready to go?
Do it.
All right. So, there is a weekly challenge this week.
Oh damn, Casey,
for
that's a red
doing this showdown mode, but it's 3v3. So I don't think we're going to be able to do it. I think that we will probably just do control, so that we can all play. Is that cool with everybody?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Sweet. All right.
I'm envisioning how this is really going to shake out is that 15 days from the end of season, at least, I will look at all the week challenges I missed and then play Destiny 2 in a flurry of activity for 3 days straight and then not touch it for the rest of the season. So.
It does look like you can make progress on the ones that haven't unlocked yet.
That's true.
Because the first time I logged in this week, one of them had already been like halfway completed.
Oh dang, look at
So
that.
you just don't know what the requirements are, but you might already finish them.
That's right. Yeah. Some of them
rare.
work that way. I don't think all of them do, but
I think it might be that some of them are progressive. So like, I had to unlock 5 artifact mods. Now I had to do 12. And
yeah,
Oh,
that
is
makes
that what
sense.
it is? I didn't actually pay attention to what it was.
maybe, I don't know. But I know one of them was the tribute chest smashed and Engram's focused. That was just like the numbers got bigger. from
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
I think that's
Right,
true.
right.
So the topic for tonight is something a little different, but I'm pretty excited about it. I was flipping through the random questions today, and this one came up, and I think it's going to be neat because we've all played Cyberpunk a bunch recently. But the question is, do you think that human cybernetic enhancements are going to be like very pivotal to mankind's future? And if you think that they're coming within our lifetime, like how far would you go with electronically modding your own body? So pretty easy, down to earth kind of question. So
yeah, I mean, if I could be a brain in a jar, oh yeah.
I mean, if it's a like very strongly reinforced jar inside a robot body that can do awesome stuff, I guess okay. But
Yeah, I could run for president of New Earth. And...
Earth.
So I guess like the thing that, I don't know, I like to joke that I would 100% let Google live in my brain, but at the same time I feel like realistically, like Cyberpunk made me think about it like, you know, like they have like Ripper Docs and like these kind of back alley shops. That kind of skeezes me out a little bit. So I guess it kind of for me would depend on I just got wrecked. Depend on like how mainstream it was. I think that I'm too basic to do stuff that's like super risky. You know what I mean?
I could see what you're saying.
What about you, Seth?
Well, it's just, I'm trying to like think about it in my head because my mind goes to like, oh, you know, we'll access the internet with our eyes and all of that. But
Right.
I think interesting too, like cybernetics, I don't know, maybe it's not cybernetics, but a heart with a built-in pacemaker for all of us just to preemptively never worry about dysrhythmias as you age. And I mean, technically that would be a cybernetic implant.
That's a great point.
And it'd be a lot more palatable. Like realistically, we already do that in people. It would be at a different scale, I think, to make it like a future-y thing, but
Sure.
something like that, yeah, I would totally get behind. But I think maybe that's because it's more of like, it's still corrective in nature of some sort of organic flaw. It's not necessarily an enhancement, so that might be different.
Seth, do you think that we're going to see that sort of thing? As we mentioned in previous episodes, Seth is very close to finishing out his, well, you're going to your residencies next, right? For med school?
Yep. Yep.
So really you're done with med school. You have a residency.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is...
Got a couple months of faffing about.
so cool. But do you think that sort of thing is a lot more, I don't want to say realistic, but like coming sooner?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, realistically, some of it's there, and I think it's finding a doctor that's willing to do it and sort of the scale of what people are choosing to do. But I was just reading yesterday about a group of people who are getting glucose monitors, and even though they're not diabetic, they're making the choice to implant what is essentially a cybernetic enhancement, a glucose monitor, into their body so that they can check over the course of their day their blood glucose levels, with the idea being that it can facilitate weight loss, and it gets into kind of like fringe nutrition stuff of thinking that having a lower glucose can help with longevity, and who knows whether or not that's true, but that's an enhancement that I was just reading about that's already very real. Interestingly, the things that I were reading were criticisms of people doing that for a variety of reasons, but you know, the fact that that kind of thing is already happening makes me think that, yeah, I think we're not too far removed from some of the technologies that we already have and we use in a sort of deficit state, possibly finding a place even before pathology develops. And I think that would fall more into the realm of like enhancement versus corrective.
That's so crazy.
There's a lot of ethical things with it, though.
Yeah, so. No kidding. But I don't know, like part of me, this is going to sound dramatic, but part of me feels like, you know, is that just like the next part of, I can't shoot anything tonight. Is that the next part of like evolution for human society? Is like longer lifespans due to man-made stuff? I don't know. It's really, really interesting. James, what about you? What do you think about
Sorry, I'm busy wasting my super. Hang on one second. Okay.
I wouldn't want to hold you up
super.
from that.
I appreciate
Gotta
it.
waste it at maximal effectiveness.
So what do you
Oh
think?
God. I mean, I don't know. The idea that we would be putting any kind of, oh gosh, I'm having those connectivity issues again, like I was. Whatever. Anyway, the idea of putting cyberpunk style enhancements in, I just don't really see as feasible. I don't know. I feel like we could get away with, what a waste of a chaos reach, like biological enhancement before we'd get away with, I don't know, having giant robot arms that extend out into crazy blades. I know
Sure.
that's more just like quintessential cyberpunk.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we could, oh hell yeah, I would mod the shit out of myself. This fleshy form is shitty anyway. As much as you could declare it a natural miracle, I would much rather have laser eyes and, I don't know, or even just magnifying glass eyes. Or I was thinking about, is it Ghost in the Shell where that dude has fingers that split into multiple fingers?
Oh yeah, his
That'd
weird
be rad.
Absolutely. I think you bring up a good point though, and that's that like.
I'm sorry, you're completely breaking up.
Oh.
Anyway, sorry.
You bring up a good point, because I think that history shows us that like sci-fi, we do a lot of like dreaming, right? But like the way things actually play out tends to be a lot more boring, whether it's because it's normalized for us by that point, or like stress testing eliminates a lot of potential technologies, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Casey, what about you? What do you think about putting robots, putting machines in your body?
I mean, yeah. Like, for me, I don't see it as really any, like, from a, like, ethical standpoint, I don't see it as any different than anything else, really.
Sure.
Like, we are just biological machines, so it's just making the parts out of something else.
Yeah.
If we can work out like how to do it, sure, why not? And I mean, we're already replacing parts. Like, you can get like replacement joints, you can get a replacement heart, all kinds of things like that.
True.
And is a cybernetic enhancement. Just because we're doing it when it's necessary doesn't make it less of an enhancement. We technically could do it to anybody.
True, yeah.
And
that's a great point.
I know there's like reasons you don't, because like it's not to the point, but eventually like technology will get to a point where we can. And like there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Like there are people who embed like magnets or RFID tags in their fingers, and you can get that sort of thing done at any tattoo shop.
What?
And like you can have it set up so you can like just unlock your like smart lock with your hand and things like that. Like that's a real thing. Cool. Like biohacking is a thing right now.
Huh.
Like
I
they
hadn't heard about that.
Microchips that are small enough that they can be injected with like a piercing needle.
What?
Like the same way you would get any like dermal, like
yeah,
like a stud or something like that. The same like way you can implant a small chip, like you would tag a pet, basically.
Wow. Yeah, that's actually a really good point too. Like we've been doing it.
Yeah, it's just a scale as to what point we decide is a cybernetic enhancement versus stuff we're already doing. And the way technology works, I don't think there's ever going to be a clear, this is when it happened.
Yeah.
It'll be a gradual gradient and we'll never really notice. It'll just kind of be the thing.
That's very fair. I think that like kind of what I'm hearing is that it's probably inevitable at this point. James, I am interested to talk about one thing that you brought up, which is like biological improvements. Are you talking about stuff like what is that? RNA editing, CRISPR?
I mean, I'm thinking about more just like general, like, we've grown ears on rats.
That's
So
true.
the idea of being able to replace parts that have fallen apart, I don't know. Is it really that much of a stretch to envision that might mean we could build, better biological replacement parts as well? Like, could it be an ear that will be able to work better than a normal ear? I don't really know, but I guess to me that sounds so much more likely than finding a way to get a body not to, I don't know.
Like
The idea of
reject.
putting electronics in my body feels, well, you grow a thing, I guess, unless you're using the specific DNA of the person. And even then, I don't know all of the science involved. I would imagine rejection would be a big concern too.
Sure.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like biological enhancement is far more likely than getting robot legs that will actually be an enhancement and not just a replacement. But could be wrong.
I think that's fair. And talking about, I think that's one of the things that will really move this forward is, bringing up rejection. That's obviously a great point because we do organ transplants and things like that relatively successfully right now. That will be a major, major hurdle when we can overcome by growing out from your own tissue replaceable organs. That'll forever change. I mean, it's on its way, but we're certainly not there yet because then you bypass that real limitation.
Yeah, I always wonder when we talk about that sort of thing, like, I feel like a big influencer in our society is like taboos, right? Like, we have a lot of hang-ups about things without getting too into it. My assumption is that any sort of biological grow your own part, probably is going to be, at least the research probably would be done with like fetal stem cells. Is that a wrong assumption? I'm not an expert, obviously, or an amateur even.
No, it's so, yeah, realistically, I mean, it's the best source. There's different levels of stem cells, and essentially, without getting into too much of the details, there's the ones that become anything, literally any cell in the body, and then there's including like placental tissues that you'll never see again as you grow into from a fetus through the stages to an infant. Then there's some that can become many types of tissues, but not all, and you continue down that chain. The nice thing is, you can get a relatively large volume of very, very pluripotent stem cells that have the potential to turn into lots of different things from fetuses. And so it's just the most usable. You can harvest adult stem cells, but by the time you're doing that, and we're learning new things in this arena, usually by the time you're harvesting adult stem cells, quote unquote, that you hear about in the media, they're much more restricted in what you can actually have them grow or transform into.
That makes sense to me. Do you think that like long term we will start like harvesting some of our own stem cells when we're born to be used later in life? Is that a thing that has been discussed?
Oh yeah, I mean, we already do cord blood.
Wow.
Which is essentially on that. It's blood-forming stem cells that can become a pretty potent thing in treating different leukemias and lymphomas.
Man, that's so cool.
Then that's you as a parent can opt to have that done, and it isn't necessarily, I think that there are some private banks where maybe it's like you can reserve for yourself, but usually it's that it goes into a pool, and then if you end up with a child who needs it or an individual who needs it, you can pull from it.
Wow. Man,
yeah, based
that's
on a
crazy.
few things I've seen about that, like, it's not something I've ever like looked into. I've only seen it on like various court procedural shows.
Yeah.
And it always involves somebody having it in a private bank. But
Yeah.
I'm sure that that's not the norm. That's just way more dramatic for a procedural show.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah. And I think that is where, like, when I bring up some of the ethical concerns, I think a lot of this kind of goes is everything that we're talking about here is super cool and will offer an advantage in many components or aspects of life.
Yeah.
And it's very expensive and it's very, very
We don't
privileged in
be
having
on
access
speed.
to it.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you're automatically just cutting out lots of people. Just, you know, unless our healthcare drastically changes before this all happens. I personally hope it does, but I do not represent my employer, and I do not, you know. Yeah.
Oh, I just
so
killed somebody and actually felt good. It didn't feel
Good
like
job,
I like just cheesed it.
I'm proud of you.
I actually like outplayed them.
It, especially, I feel like a big part of it, and this is not a thing that I'm good at all, but is like just learning the maps, like in any game. But I feel like once you get them, it gets a lot easier.
I gotta mute myself because I'm just about to yell at my TV real quick. 1 second.
All right.
Okay. These connection problems are insane. I keep just like staring at walls and then dying.
That's awful.
Are you like hardwired, or are you doing it on Wi-Fi?
No, I have to do it on Wi-Fi based on the room location. But I wasn't having.
Oh,
I
that's
haven't been having
unfortunate.
any problem. And the last time I had this issue was like a week and a half ago.
Yeah. Ugh. One thing that I'm super excited for is like augmented reality. I feel like that's a thing that, I don't know, I think will be a lot cooler quicker, you know what I mean? And I know that companies have tried it, and we're still like figuring it all out, and there's still a lot of work to do. But I mean, you guys remember Google Glasses and all that from back in the day. Wow, that was horrible. But I was just looking the other day, Casey and I were talking about Microsoft's new, I can't remember what it's called. Do you remember, Casey?
HoloLens.
HoloLens, that's the one.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, they just released the like industrial version
Yes. But
of
I mean,
HoloLens 2.
it looks a lot like a standard like VR headset, but you can see through it, you know. I'm looking forward to something like that for like office administrative work is what I really want.
But like, what would you have on it that would be beneficial to that though? Like,
I just
the employee
imagine-
records of whoever you're looking at? Like,
I guess like the way I see it is you could like basically forego having an office. You just have a comfy chair and a keyboard and a mouse. I don't know. It might be far-fetched. It just sounds great to me.
like that's the thing I've always struggled with those, is that in most situations where people are going to like want them, I can't see a use case that is truly beneficial.
Sure.
Like,
That's fair.
I can't see anything for like office work really that it's
Yeah.
better than a laptop for.
Sure. Or just screens.
Yeah. Like you get the portability, so having a laptop is nice.
Sure.
But like it's not like you need to overlay something onto something to like reference it quickly. It could be useful if you're like presenting something. You could have your script up,
Oh, for sure.
and things like that. I could see that. But like for the majority of computer work that we do, and of course once it becomes a common technology, works will shift into adopting it. I'm sure
True.
people said the exact same things about Excel and things like that. And they definitely did about word processors.
Right.
But like, yeah, no, AR stuff is really cool. I just don't see a practical use for like
like administrative
sector work.
Yeah. No, that's
Like I
totally
definitely
fair.
see it in like healthcare or manufacturing or like
Yeah.
mechanic work, anything like that where you need quick reference to like technical things and being able to overlay it onto the real thing.
Can you imagine
Is
doing like
so cool.
like I don't remember, like you know, like the tech center, like technical skill kind of trade training, where you just have like you do hands-on work, but you're being guided by a person or software, like that are recognizing all the pieces and telling you like, you know, this is what your next step is to troubleshoot. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, or even just identifying parts. Like,
Yeah.
think about changing your oil. If you don't know what you're doing and you read instructions and it says remove the oil filter, it's next to the starter. What
Yeah.
does that mean? If you have no idea, like if you don't know, that would enable somebody to do it.
Yeah.
You would be looking at it and it would say right above it, like a HUD in a video game. It would say, hey, look over there, dummy.
I only want it if it insults me, though. That's like, that's required.
Carrot weather, but an AR system.
I'm having really good luck with melee kills this round for some reason. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it.
Means your fists have outgrown the need for weapons.
What a titany perspective.
Certainly a true one.
What about like external stuff, like and we kind of were talking about this with AR, but like, you know, like so much sci-fi relies on like power suits, right? And I feel like that has to be coming relatively soon.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I
No,
can definitely see
was deep
exosuits
in a
being a
kill.
thing like really soon.
Yeah.
Like there've already been like developed ones for like proof of concept that act as like leg and back like enhancements for like lifting and
Stabilizers.
moving. Yeah.
I was definitely
And for
thinking
like
that-
extra strength and things like that too, so you're not straining yourself lifting heavy things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
mobility
guess my-
enhancements would be a game changer
Mhm.
for disability.
One thing that I think about with that stuff is like, in some ways, by using that, are we training machines to do this work? And I'm not against it. Like, I think that we should be, so long as we're taking care of the people who used to do that work, you know. But what do you guys think?
Yeah,
Yes.
it weighs on me. In the sense of like it can be scary who's developing these technologies and the sort of questions of what ultimately they'll be used for. I mean, anytime you see something, it's really nice to put it within the context of, let's say, you know, some sort of mobility assist and leg power to help someone who has cerebral palsy and contractures or something like that. But is their end game, oh, well, this workforce is going to be so much more efficient? Is there something that is underlying it where it will suddenly be restricted in the access that you get because that wasn't their actual goal to help your life, it was to help them?
Or this military, you know?
Yeah. That's what, and that's it. Yeah. I was gonna say off topic. I think like the military is a good example of that because, you know, NASA, so much innovation came out of NASA back in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. And yes, obviously that's very much intertwined with military, but it still felt different. And a lot of that stuff kind of crept into the public and in a more noble sort of goal, exploring the universe and blah, blah, blah. We don't do that as much anymore, and so I think it has fallen more into the realm of military, and that's a little scarier because even if it does trickle down into some sort of public benefit, it's shitty that it had to. Sorry for swearing.
No,
it's
you're
bad
fine.
that it.
You can
Are
swear.
we not
bad that
allowed
it
to
had-
do that on the stream?
It's okay. Like, too many F-bombs may make things but it's not like anyone's watching this anyway. We have 0 viewers. So.
But yeah, it's bad. It takes the path of people being hurt. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, I think we need one more round to get our weekly stuff, and then I'm happy to keep playing if people need more bounties. Just wanted to open it up. This is a topic that I feel like it's easy to dive all the way to the bottom of our known experience with it pretty quickly. But just wanted to open it up. Like, do you guys have any other thoughts about everything from healthcare implants to mechanized super soldier warfare of the future? I assume. I mean, look what we're playing, right? No.
I mean, if I could have a grenade launcher that sounds like a lion and reloads itself if you kill a dude the certain way, I mean, outside of killing a dude a certain way, it'd be kind of rad.
Killing squirrels a certain way.
That's right. No, that's still
Don't kill
horrific.
squirrels.
It is horrific. It's true.
I think I just use it to remove like wasps' nests by bouncing grenades off of walls.
Time to trim the hedges today. Load up the launcher.
Hell yeah.
It's a green nade launcher.
Hey.
Uh,
Oh, we went to -1 viewers. What happened?
How does that even happen?
So I kind of I was thinking about this because like we never know exactly how many people are going to be on the show, or how long a certain topic's going to take. I don't want to belabor a topic if we're done with it, so I thought maybe we could just do random questions that I'll just shoot out to one of you guys. You just give me a quick answer, and then we'll circle our way around. How does that sound?
that sounds
good.
like a good time.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna
As long
go
as it's simple math, nothing too
6.
We will just go in alphabetical order of your first names, I think, is how we're gonna do this. All right, so starting
no, I'm
with
counting the
James.
Oh, okay. Counting the alphabet. What
Counting the
hell?
alphabet.
I'm
26.
just counting the alphabet
Done.
in my head.
Wait, 26? Is that right? Yeah, I think it is.
Yes.
So James, where did your family go on vacations in the summer, and what was your favorite thing about it, or the thing
Oh
you
my
hated
God.
most?
Oh fuck. We don't really never went on like specific vacations. There wasn't like a constant vacation
Sure.
thing. When I was a kid in the summer, we'd go visit my grandma. But there was one summer where we packed up the pop-up camper and we headed out west, hit Utah, Montana, Arizona, and we hit it was like Dinosaur National Monument, and then we went to like an old quarry that was full of prehistoric fish fossils. So
Oh,
we
man.
got to dig up our own fish fossils, and
That's awesome.
there was this really rad campsite that was just out in the middle of the open plains, and when night hit, there were thousands of fireflies all over all the way to the horizon.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a pretty rad vacation. A lot of cool stuff.
One
We all
thing-
had to wear matching outfits that where my mom sewed them, and they had they were black with dinosaur print on them.
Your mom
all
is my
four of us.
favorite.
So all 4 of us were wearing that. That was pretty rad. Fanny packs everywhere. Yeah, but normally summer would be at my grandma's in Ohio. Ohio sucks, but she lived on the side of a ravine with a little creek at the bottom, and then my grandpa, back when he was alive, I guess, built a shed like an acre back because she had like 3 acres of space. And it was
Oh,
all
wow.
just woodland. So there was just this old dilapidated shack in the backwoods. So I'd go hang out in the ravine or back in the shack. Could catch crawdads, and it was pretty cool.
So my favorite thing, I think, so far about doing this show is I'm getting to like, I said this a couple times, but I feel like all of us collectively have really like talked about everything that might normally come up in conversation. I love talking to you guys, but you know, like we have our regular topics we go through is what I mean. And I'm getting to like learn more and hear stories from you guys that I have never heard before, and it's just so dope. Well, thank you for sharing your vacation story with us. Oh boy,
Sure,
getting
Colin.
shot.
Oh, it'd be nice if I could aim though.
It's not
Part of that's
necessary.
my fault, but part of that is that my screen lags about a quarter of a second behind my input. So that makes
Ugh.
it kind of
Oh,
tough.
that's terrible.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not good at all.
it ain't fun. It's this connection shit. Anyway,
All right, I died, so let's do another one. All right, Kevin, your question is, what? Sorry, hold on. What time do you normally go to bed, and why?
Usually around 10.
Yeah,
Probably
you one
don't
of those
fall
people
asleep
that-
until like
yeah.
1 or 12 to 1, but
Oh damn.
I was gonna ask if
Yeah.
you were one of those people that fall asleep right away. It
no, definitely not.
makes me so mad that some
But
people
like,
can do
I don't
that.
know why. Just seems like a good idea. It's nice to have just a couple hours at the end of the day that's like
Just relax.
not doing anything really.
Yeah. No, that's very.
And like, if I stayed
Yeah.
yeah,
I get on
cats are
people's
supposed to
nerves
do
all the
that.
time, you know? It's just
Yeah.
it's what we do.
All right. This game's going pretty well. Oh,
Oh,
I
I'm
say
getting-
as I run
getting
into
squalled.
that guy's super.
Yep. It's okay. We defended B anyway. It's.
Well, James,
I've
you
got
are
my super
first
up.
place right now, so.
I'm amazed. I'm amazed.
All right,
Testament to your
James,
skill
here's your next
and our lack
question.
thereof.
Uh huh.
If you were in witness protection, what would be your new name and where would you go?
And I get the best questions. Let me tell you, you guys get boring cat questions. No offense. Oh my god. So where would I go, and what
And-
would my name be?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I really have always been partial to the name Bernard. I think being called Bernard would be pretty rad. And where would I go as Bernard? I would probably move Maine,
Probably good.
Maine, or the Maine area, probably.
Oh, like
Just
so,
like-
like the central area. like the general area.
What?
What?
I was trying to make a joke about Maine. Never mind.
I get it.
So
Oh.
stupid. I'm sorry. I'm so
It's
sorry.
not stupid.
But anywhere out on the East Coast would be rad, especially if like it was a small island-based community. I feel
Oh,
like
hell
would be
yeah.
really cool.
I feel like you'd make a great Bernard, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah,
fit.
go by Bernard and just like work as like a boat hand on a fishing vessel. Go do those dangerous catch shit. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I want to know this answer for everybody, actually.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you want to do a round of what would your witness protection identification be?
I want to hear it.
All right. So Casey, what about you? Where would you go, and what would your name be?
I have never thought of this in my life.
And
Just
that's
never
fair.
thought about like what another cool name you could have would be.
Not really. I mean, places, either coast would be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not Michigan, either coast is
Yeah.
good.
Is your sister still out on the West Coast?
She's in Travers now.
Oh, you told me that. I knew. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's been a while. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought of a different name or anything like that.
That's fair.
My
That's
first
fair.
question would be, why is the witness protection program making me choose these things? You'd think they would like assign them so that they're not something you might have told somebody at some
No,
point.
they make you like
this
fill
right
out
now.
like a, you know how the military makes you fill out like a dream sheet where you list your top 5 jobs that you'd
Yeah.
want to do in the military. It's like that, but you know, for protecting yourself from being killed by the mob.
It only
Yeah,
makes
just
sense.
hopefully the one they pick isn't one you told everybody about on a space cast at some point.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Look
Let's
for a
find Bernard in
in the
Maine.
Northeast.
Right. Buonasera, buonasera. I hear the fishing business is very good out there.
I don't know. I've already got 2 names. I don't need any more.
Oh, that's true. that's fair.
True.
And like honestly, your middle name is a pretty good first name too. So
Yeah.
you got a lot of
Seth.
options. Seth, what about you? What would your secret identity be?
I don't know. I feel like so I always like for a long time, Jessica probably knows too, if I have to pick a name for like a kind of goofy character in a movie or a video game, like the pet who follows you around and gets you in more trouble, I always say Gerard. So I feel like for some reason my name would end up being Gerard.
Yeah.
Especially because I
Fantastic.
speak French. I feel like I would probably get relocated somewhere where I could take advantage of that. So like maybe I love Canada, but again, in a cruel twist of fate, it would probably be French Canada that I would end up surrounded by the Quebecois. And
Real
so then I
quick,
would probably seek out whoever was hunting me.
That's a great point.
The better alternative.
Real quick, do you guys still have bounties? Do we want to keep going for a couple rounds?
I don't have any bounties, but I'm just happy to play whatever.
I've still got a couple.
Okay, let's keep rolling. I didn't know you speak French, Seth.
Yeah, I'm super rusty at this point, but when I was in Morocco, I learned it at least conversationally fluent.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is what you're talking
This is what I'm talking about. All right, next round. James, I feel like we talked about this last time you were on the show, but
about?
for our new Zero viewers, what's the
Could
worst
be a
job you've
different
ever
set
had?
of 0 viewers. Man, yeah, that was really tough to answer last time because so many of them have. I gotta make this sound like a misanthrope. So many of them have fucking sucked.
Yeah, I just need one though. I want one.
Oh, pardon me. Fudging sucked.
It's
I'm
okay.
sure that matters.
It's fine.
Probably I mean, honestly, just from like a health standpoint, when I was working the parks department, and my allergies were just
Oh.
all up my butt.
It's not
That's
usually
where
where
they
you get
were.
allergies.
That's commonly where I get that particular allergy. But yeah, just between the hay fever and the boss was kind of a jerk, and it's
What were you
just-
doing out at the parks?
Well, mowing, and then having to, this is the part that always sucked, having to kick homeless people out of their sleeping areas. That
Oh,
one just
yeah.
always sucked. That felt so shitty.
That does suck.
And then just, you're mowing you got to stop the mower at some of the parks to pull the used condoms that got stuck up in the
Ugh.
blades out of there.
Oh no.
Or it was its own special brand of interesting.
I believe it.
For sure. So yeah, I would say that's probably my worst
right.
job
Yeah,
by-
that makes sense.
by a fair margin.
Casey, I feel like I keep giving you weird ones. I'm sorry. It's just it's the algorithm, Casey.
It's okay.
It's not an algorithm. What's the weirdest dream you've ever had? Do you
None,
remember
'cause I
your
don't
dreams?
remember them.
Okay, let's do a new question.
I'm right there with Casey. I too do not know or remember any of my dreams.
Wow.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. I thought I was the only person.
What's
I
that
knew.
like? Do you guys feel like you miss out, or would
It
you
just feels
rather
like-
not dream?
It's just time traveling, right? You fall asleep and then you wake up and it's morning. There's no intermediate
basically.
experience.
I'm indifferent about it.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, James, do you like related, not necessarily dreams, but do you have like, can you picture things?
When I'm
Like-
asleep,
No, just in general. If you think
Yeah.
of something,
Oh, yeah.
like you can actually see it, or do you just know what it is?
no, I can actually
Hmm.
see it. It's not just a concept.
Okay.
It is actually an image.
Yeah, because I don't get that either.
Oh, okay.
Which like kind of confuses me because I'm good with like spatial stuff,
Yeah.
but like I never
Interesting.
have a actual like mental picture of something.
Yeah. Huh.
Like I know exactly what things look like, but it's like a list of their descriptions or something. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'm sorry. It's tough for me to even imagine what that would be like. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
So opposite of how I like
Same.
remember or envision things. That is so different.
Yeah, I always kind of thought that was related to the dream thing, but like maybe not.
I mean,
I'm
everything's
sure
related,
it is a
right?
broad spectrum.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Here's your actual new question, Casey.
Oh
Uh,
jeez.
You're not off the hook.
What
I'm trying
is?
to get pulse rifle kills.
I know. I feel like
Or
half
scout
of this
rifle, I guess.
is funny just because like I don't play this game well anyway, and I play it particularly badly when I'm trying to host this thing. But okay, so what is like a TV show or a movie that has been like panned, but that you enjoy? The question says secretly, but I think I know you well enough to know that you probably don't care about like having a secret thing you like, you know?
Huh.
So please.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Like,
There aren't any movies you can think of that, most people would be like, I hate that or I don't like that.
not most people I know.
That's fair.
Like,
All right.
yeah.
Well, you want a
I'm
different
trying to
question?
think through, like TV shows, because that's probably more. But
Man, then
even there, I can't really think of too much.
What'd you think of Jurassic Park 3?
Oh yeah, I don't remember Jurassic Park 3 like at all.
Oh, okay.
Same.
Oh,
Which one was
Yeah.
3?
coping mechanism. We're all there.
Yeah, I was honestly curious because if you liked 3 was universally disliked, so that's the only reason I even brought it up. It doesn't really matter. That's
2
the
was
one
the
with the
Lost World.
Spinosaurus. Yeah,
It was
the
it was the
Spinosaurus
Spinosaur and the like ringtone guy.
yeah, the ringtone guy. Oh, heard the ringtone.
I
in the
remember enjoying
dinosaur's
that when I
stomach.
watched it. Like I
Uh-huh.
definitely didn't think it was good,
Uh-huh.
but I don't think I've watched that one more than like twice total. So, and that would have been like back when it came out.
Okay.
So I really don't know. I remember enjoying it.
Do you remember we watched it one time during one of DJ's New Year's Eve parties?
Did
All
we?
those many years ago, we did. Because I remember that was the first time I saw it, and I was so scared by those 2 corpses that swung out of the trees attached to the parachutes.
How old were you guys?
Oh, an age? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was
'Cause
quite
those
young.
parties started like, I want to say like 97.
That sounds
Because there were definitely a
Wow.
couple before 2000.
Yeah, there were. The
I
2000
was trying
one
to
was,
think of that this year, like how many there were, because this
The
would have
two-
been the first New Year's that there wasn't anything since in like that entire span.
Mhm.
97. Wow. It's a long ass time
And it was
ago.
either like 98 or 97.
Hmm.
But those were fun. Hey,
Yeah, they were.
I was
We
gonna
drank
kill
the-
him.
Sparkling
Sorry.
grape juice and yeah. Again, I think that we ended up just like hijacking your new question.
Maybe the Star Wars prequels.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I buy that.
I mean, they're definitely not good, but I can watch them and enjoy them, especially more so now than before. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. They have some charm. They're definitely very flawed,
Dude, yeah.
Sure.
but
That
yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
Oh, man.
What viewing order do you believe in, Casey?
Whatever you feel like. But I think for somebody who's never seen any of them, like going in blind, I would say 4, 5, 1, 2, 6, 3.
All right.
really? So you'd
Ending
put
on 3 is
you'd put
Maybe not
Empire,
ending on 3, maybe skipping 3.
you'd put Empire before you learn who Anakin was as a youngin, huh?
well,
Yes.
spoilers.
Because then
Oh,
Empire is still a reveal, and then you flash back to learning who Anakin was.
oh right, because
Like-
they'll call him Skywalker. Yeah. Okay. Good point. Good point.
The first 4 I'm set in that order. It's Jedi and the other one that I don't really know where they fit.
Uh huh.
I would say ending with Jedi is probably best. So it's probably 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6.
Okay.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I definitely think the first 4 like should go in that order, so it's a reveal for somebody who's like blind going in.
And then you just leave
Which I
out
don't think
7,
that
8,
person
9.
exists anymore. But
Right, but still. I get what you're
yeah.
saying.
And what's your take on the new ones?
I liked them.
I liked them
The
too.
It's
last
I
one?
mean, Star Wars has never been like a masterpiece of cinema.
Yes.
It's
I
not
agree
supposed
completely.
to be. Like there were definite issues, and I think they could have been done a lot better
Sure.
if they had like, I don't know, had a plan.
It did kind of
But,
give that vibe.
like, they weren't as bad as people make them seem.
I agree.
You really don't think that last one was just completely lacking like substance and forethought and anything resembling an interesting plot?
Maybe for the last one.
Pretty strong.
I mean, I'm not
Pretty
trying to
strong there,
color
James.
your opinion. I have very strong and negative opinions about that last one. Not because I'm upset at what Disney did to Star Wars or whatever, but just like as a film in general, it just just
was flat.
suck. Yeah, and then that ending, I hated that ending. That whole ending. Oh,
I will say I thought the ending was the weakest part for sure.
The
I will
whole
say I haven't
galaxy's here to
rewatched
help.
any of them.
And then Rey kisses Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I
I've
didn't
only
like that.
seen all 3 of the new ones once. So I don't have strong opinions for them because I don't have like them ingrained in my memory.
Okay.
All right, Seth. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No.
Seth, I want to ask you this one. So, what is on your bedside table?
Oh, jeez. We don't even have
Accomplished
bedside
absolutely
tables right
nothing
now.
on
We have
that
like a
mission.
headboard. Let's see
Oh.
what's up on.
Do you
my
have anything on the headboard?
I have my iPad. I have a lamp. Oh, I have like a little star projector.
Oh, that's
Kinda
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Puts it up on the ceiling. I think I've got a couple comic books. Well,
Nice.
but like not so like Calvin and Hobbes Sunday comics collection
Yeah.
books is a better way
Good
to
save.
phrase
We
it.
were gonna think you were a giant nerd, but
I know, right?
Now we
Like,
know.
well, I don't. I know you guys aren't into that stuff, so
With your comic books.
I think that's probably it. Nothing too. Cups of water, like 7 half-empty cups
Yeah,
of water.
my
It's like we're
man.
living in signs, and the aliens are gonna invade.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, you don't want to drink stale water.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Gotta
see where
save
she's
it.
coming
And once
from
you're
with that.
upstairs, you don't want to take the cup back down. So why not just
Exactly.
have 7 half-full cups?
Exactly.
I
Makes sense.
wonder what Jess would say if she were here to defend herself right now. That's really funny. Well, thank you for
There's nothing
sharing.
to defend. It makes perfect sense.
It's a great
fine.
point. You're right. You're right.
Thankfully, everything I tease her about, I do to her face as well.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you get a random question, Colin?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You should.
I don't know. It feels weird for me to generate my own random question and then read it to myself.
Well,
Just do it in a
welcome
different
to
voice or
being on
something.
stream.
All right. You're right. If you were offered the position of mayor in your city, would you take it?
Oh.
It's actually a really good question. I don't feel like I can give an honest answer. It's really interesting to me that, like, growing up and stuff, I feel like when you hear a mayor, like, you think like somebody who, I don't know, like basically the equivalent of a president in your local government, right? But in a lot of places like Grand Rapids, that the mayor is almost like a very powerful like commission seat, because we have a city manager who is responsible for you know, like most of the day in day out kind of stuff. So I don't think that I would take a mayorship position. I have a lot of respect for our current mayor. I like Mayor Bliss a lot, and I think she's done a lot of great things, but I don't know that I could deal with the politics of the seat very well. That's my answer.
Makes sense.
That's fair.
I think if I were gonna have like a political position, I would want to be like Archdruid.
There you go.
Archduke.
It's not where I
Archduke of
expected
Grand
that to go.
Rapids.
Archdruid.
There
Oh,
you go, like
Archdruid.
comptroller or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, comptroller of the Archdruidry. That's all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think you mean of the Grove, but yeah.
Grove
I would like to be the Fey Lord of the Dark Realm of Grand Rapids, please and thank you.
I also think that would be my problem in going into government assisted hiding, would be that I would pick some name that I thought would be cool in like a novel, and people would be like, that's not real. You ever notice that, like,
That's
protagonists?
not even a real name.
Yeah, like protagonists in novels have the dumbest, like, no one is named for, like, a really good reason relating to their, like, life trajectory. It's just not a thing. Unless your parents decided you were going to be, like, a hedge fund billionaire, I guess. Because then you'll have, like, a Bible name.
What? Oh, is that what the kind of name you'll have is a Bible name? I was gonna ask, like, would it be like a rich money lots?
Rich McMoney.
Actually, James, I think you need to revise your answer.
Oh,
Rich
yeah? You think I'd
McMoney
make a
lots.
You think I'd make a good
That's
rich?
a great name.
Richard? Yeah, absolutely. I think you could be Richard. You work at a library.
Some people would already say I'm quite a dick.
But,
My name's Rich, but they call me Richard.
Fantastic. Okay. We're back to you, James. What board game do you like the most?
Oh, Betrayal at the House on the Hill, probably.
Yeah.
That's definitely up there in my faves. Though, let me see. Let me look at my big old stack of games. I would say that Telestrations in a party setting has definitely been getting up there. Especially, oddly enough, the non-adult version of it. You can be just as dark and nasty as the After Dark version, but it's you have to do some extra hoops in order to be dirty, and I appreciate the kind of forced creativity that creates.
Interesting. I don't know anything about that game. What's it all about?
I kind of killed that guy. So it's like playing telephone, but what you do is everybody has these like little dry erase flip books.
Oh, yeah.
And then
I know what you're talking about.
So you get a prompt and then you draw that prompt. And then the next person has to write a word guess as to what they thought you drew as that prompt, and then pass it on to the next person, who then does the next draw, and then so on and so forth. And then you get around the table once or twice, and then everybody shows off the progression of drawings that went from like Catmare to like Catmandu. I don't know how the hell you draw that. But you know what I mean. Like,
I do,
like
yeah.
It never survives contact with the enemy, but instead of like normal telephone where it's because somebody's probably purposefully sabotaging the stuff, instead it's because literally most of us just suck at drawing real bad.
It kind of eliminates that part of telephone that is like you just know it's never gonna work out because somebody's gonna like purposefully jack it up.
I was normally the person who liked to purposefully jack up games of telephone, so yes. Yes, I did know very well that was a wow, I am so bad with this hammer sometimes.
All right, KC, if you could get rid of one disease in the world, I assume across all time. No, let's say modern day. Let's say modern day disease. Which one would you get rid of?
I mean, how broad can I be there? Can we just eliminate all like brain diseases?
I think it has to have like a specific medical name. Would be my interpretation of the question.
Well, then it gets real specific. I don't know.
Bonitis.
Yeah.
Bonitis is a bad one. But man, that's a really tricky question.
Yeah, especially right now.
I was gonna say, would it be selfish just to say COVID?
I mean,
It's really more of a virus and less a disease, though, isn't it?
yeah, I would say that probably is like allowable given the rules.
Count it.
Yeah, I would definitely turn to Seth for that.
I would think it would fit in the spirit of the question.
Yeah. Exactly.
Probably things like Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that makes
would be-
sense.
Yeah.
A good one.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy how much people suffer from that disease and like
Yeah.
the range of symptoms over time.
Like, there's a lot of good answers, but like,
Yes,
I think that's what I would have to say.
that makes sense.
I don't know if that's the right answer, but
I don't think there is a right answer.
I mean,
we're
there
just a bunch of-
objectively is at some point, but
We're just a bunch of dumb future immortals shooting aliens, Casey.
that's true.
No, there's a good spectrum there of like what impacts the most people, but may not be the most morbid, but then like the things that are absolutely atrocious but don't affect as many people. I think Alzheimer's is a great choice because that kind of is a good middle point.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are coming up on
Common
10:30,
cold.
and I do want
Then we
to
won't beat those aliens. That one movie.
Casey
It's
wants
true.
us to lose the War of the Worlds.
If
Okay.
only Casey hadn't cured the common cold.
in the end. So we're coming up on 10:30, and that's kind of my target generally. Obviously, last night we ended up going way later to get that gun. But I do want to give Seth the last question of the night. So, Seth, as we head back to the tower, if you inherited or won $1 million, what's the very first thing you would do with the money?
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's a tough question.
Yeah. I
And
mean, it can
why
be
is
anything.
what would you do with the extra $20 after you pay off all of your student debt?
Oh no!
I was just gonna say, like, and it feels because I don't know, and then it's like, oh, I want to be generous. Oh, but by saying generous, he's just trying to. I have very little need for money in my life. Like, I'm a relatively simple person,
Yeah.
but the amount of debt that I have is very, very large, as it is for
Right.
every medical student out there, unfortunately. And I feel like by paying off my debt immediately, it would put me in a position where I could be a lot more generous a lot faster.
Yeah.
And there's so many fun things I'd love to do, like pay off my sister's house and set up college funds for my two nieces and things like that. I mean, there's so many things, but I can do all of that realistically on the path I'm on, and it'll be a lot easier if I get rid of my many six-figure debt first.
Okay, but this is Christmas money, and it says specifically on the card you're only allowed to spend it on fun things.
Well,
Now
I
what
didn't say
fun is?
that.
I said that. I'm changing the question because we all know the
Jeez.
right answer is your loan.
Yeah, that's
that's
fair.
fair.
That's
this
fair.
is now you've got to spend $1 million on yourself.
As the unofficial
Okay.
judge, I'll
Fun
allow
stuff for yourself.
So
That's
I'm
what
gonna
we
cheat.
really
Paying off
want.
loans is so fun.
I'm gonna cheat because this is absolutely a very selfish thing, and while it may not seem like it, I would absolutely pay for an incredibly badass international trip upon which all of us could go with our significant others and just like spend 2 weeks crawling Eastern Europe or something like that. Like
Dude.
some sort of
Hell
international
yeah.
experience with my friends would be, and that I will say, I mean, that is selfish because I'm getting what I enjoy out of that. There's nothing more important to me than travel and exploring cultures, and if I can do it with people I like, that's like even better. So
Hell yeah.
Damn, that's a great
That's-
answer.
That's the
That's a
kind of
great
answer I like right there.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
All right, gentlemen.
and also
Well,
Teslas, you know, we all have Teslas,
Oh,
but the cheap ones. 'cause-
yeah, the Model S's, right, or X? I can't
yeah, because
remember.
there's a lot of us and they're expensive, and it's only $1 million. So.
only $1 million.
Well, I want to say thank you again for joining me for Slate at Night. James, Fightman over on Twitch, KC, Katosu on Twitch, and Seth, Teach My Teddy. Teach me, Teddy? Teach my Teddy?
Change that. I'll probably
Over
get
on
us some
Twitch.
No, I like it.
I like it, and I think you should keep it. Real quick, nod to our sponsors. The Cryptarchs, they make stuff out of other stuff. Who doesn't love that? So this has been Slate at Night. Thank you all for listening, all 0 of you, and we will